You know, if Mike Tyson was the one to name this film, I would not have been surprised. You know what I'm talking about, folks. The film is Jethica, which is obviously trying to say Jessica, but hey, it is what it is. Let's jump into the review of it right now. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Jethica, which is making its world premiere at South by Southwest Film Festival 2022. Now, Jethica is part of the Visions category, which in this category, filmmakers are taking some very risk-taking tactics and technique in a new cinema landscape, who are basically demonstrating raw and innovation and creativity in their work. So in this case, you should say that it's a little unconventional, you know. And for me, I feel like it was because I really didn't know what the purpose of this film was, but because of some of the things that they did, especially in terms of the storytelling, I thought it was pretty cool. But like overall, as a complete body of work, I was like, wait, what is happening and what's the point, you know? But it is a short film. It's 70 minutes, and it is very unorthodox. And I laughed. I definitely laughed. I had a good time, but I was a little bit annoyed as well too, just because of there was one particular part of the film that I was just kind of just over with, you know. But here's what happens in this film. Now, Jessica is being stalked by this dude, Kevin. Everywhere she goes, he goes. Some way, shape, or form, he's right behind her. But randomly on the road trip, she runs into one of her old friends, Elena, who she hasn't seen since high school. But Elena is living in this very isolated, what do you call those things? A rancher, or a trailer park of her grandmother's. And she then, you know, Jessica tells her like, hey, so I got the stalker or whatnot, but yeah, you know, I need to get away. But of course the stalker somehow, some way finds his way to this ranch, and now the two of them are seeking help from beyond the grave in order to get rid of him for good. But you know, Kevin is a little bit different from some other stalkers because he just doesn't go away easily. So let's talk about this right now. So the biggest thing for me is that I thought the sound was very chilling, and I thought overall this had a very solid production. I thought the introduction in this film was also a very big exclamation point as to how bizarre this may go, because Elena is having some backseat sex, and her partner is trying to figure out why he can't go to her place, and then she reflects as to why he can't, because she has a roommate, but also because she killed somebody. So like, you kind of got this story of her reflecting on what's happening in the film, all the way to the end where she pretty much gets out the car and she's like, all right, cool, that was good, got my quickie, I'm out of here and whatnot. So like I said, unorthodox, unconventional here. But talking about the story that she was reflecting on, you know, when Kevin shows up to the ranch after Jessica, first of all, Jessica has no urgency, but I will say that how people deal with their stalkers and people deal with their trauma, everyone's different. But I think for the sake of drama and for the sake of probably getting, you know, the audience to be invested into what's happening with her, I feel like maybe a little bit of more urgency, because she was just kind of like, oh, I think that's Kevin over there, oh, we gotta go, and it was kind of like lackluster or whatnot. Because you think, like, if this person's really been following you all over the world and whatnot, you probably will be a little bit more frightened, shall I say. And there was definitely no sense of that at all. But I think it's because Jessica felt a lot like how I felt, in terms of, I am tired of hearing Kevin say Jessica's name a billion times. So many times it kept saying Jessica, 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 because he literally was just a complete stalker. I mean, it's super cringe how much of a stalker he is. But like, he was also like a puppy dog pleading his case and about like why they need to talk and he needs another chance, and then he gets irate and whatnot. And I gotta say, like, yeah, the actor who plays Kevin was definitely one of the high parts of this film. Like, for the stalker role, he was definitely nailing it. That's for sure. But even still, you know, like there's this whole supernatural element to this as well too, because when you talk about Elena being at her grandma's house, her grandma was a mystic, so she put a spell on the land. So once a couple of things lead from here to there, then we start getting some ghosts. And then with the ghosts appearing, then the ghosts, you know, start to make a case for why it is a cool and good idea to be a ghost, which I start to contemplate myself like, yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, you know, and whatnot. And two ghosts become friends, and you kind of sympathize with them. Although you have to remember, in order to be a ghost, you have to be dead. So hearing their story about how they got killed or murdered or died or accident, whatever it may be, is kind of like, yeah, that's kind of bad. It's kind of sad. And then you kind of sympathize with them, but then you kind of feel like, oh, this is a happy ending. Ghosts are being friends, and they're kind of just doing their own thing or whatnot. And you know, Jethica is still being threatened by a stalker, and Elena's is kind of like, you know, her partner in all of this, and they're trying to take matters into their own hand. And yeah, but that's pretty much the film. It's in fact a strange film. And like I said, besides the storytelling and all, and the actor who plays Kevin, the stalker, you know, again, I really didn't understand the point. But in terms of the project itself, again, I thought the sound was really good. The production overall was good. Again, the performance by the actor who plays Kevin was very good and really stood out to me. But overall, yeah, it was cool because it did some unique things. The cinematography definitely took some chances. There was some chances in terms of the editing with the cinematography. There was parts of it I definitely was like, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way. But you know, I'm not mad at it at all. It just was a little, like I said, it's experimental, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. But with that being said, Jethica is, you know, made its world premiere at South by Southwest Film Festival. If you are attending the festival, totally check it out. Let me know your thoughts about it. And if not, then stay tuned for when it gets a release. You know, that's what happens at Film Festival. You have to wait for distribution. That way you can get a chance for you to see it. And then you can come in the comments and let me know your thoughts about it. But until then, folks, stay tuned because we got more reviews and coverage coming to you real soon.